Hello, and welcome to another edition of Medicare Simplified with your host, Dave Miller.
Welcome back to Medicare Simplified podcast. I'm your host, Dave Miller, and I thought it was important that the listening audience knows a little bit about me. I grew up in a very small town called South Mountain, Pennsylvania. It's so small we didn't have but 2 stop signs and no red lights. And then later we moved to Waynesboro, where I graduated in 1981. And I knew right out of the gate when I was 10 years old, I wanted to join the military. My dad is an Army veteran. He served in World War II and the Korean War. He was with the 82nd Airborne at the Battle of the Bulge. And even after he got out of the Army, he knew he wanted to be a chaplain from the time he was 10, and he served God his whole life, all the way up to 93 when he passed in 2011. And I still miss him a lot. Even just talking about it kind of gets to me, and I apologize. But my mom was an amazing cook. She never bought pre-made mixes of any kind. She had my brother and I in the kitchen from the time we were 7, sifting flour, snapping green peas, doing all kinds of crazy cooking stuff, because she said when her boys grow up, they're not eating out of a can and they're not sucking down ramen noodles. And I got to admit, Mom, I appreciate it, because now my wife says I'm a pretty good cook, and I even make my own barbecue sauces. And they may not be commercial grade, but they are good. When I was in the Army, I got to admit, my favorite tour was when I was in Germany. The people were great. The food was phenomenal. And being 18 in the land of beer, let me tell you, I was in heaven. The Hefeweizen beer is the best. I don't drink anymore, but back then I sure took advantage of it. But I did learn one important thing. Never chug a Weizen beer, because they don't filter the yeast out. My gut felt like I was going to explode, and I let out the largest belch of my life. My throat hurt for about 3 hours. So don't chug a Weizen beer, whatever you do. And while I was over there, I was part of ERCA, which is European Rodeo Cowboy Association. I actually rode bareback bronc. I tried a bull, found out real quick that was not my forte, and that was the end of the rodeo stuff. But check mark on the bucket list. When I came back to the United States, I was at a place called Fort Stewart. And at Fort Stewart's it's in Georgia. And I learned skydiving was something else I always wanted to do. And, well, I've been up to 15,000 feet. I've been doing all kinds of formations. I've won a couple awards skydiving. I turned a Falcon Award when I was only about 72 jumps. And that's where you have to turn so many formations with 3 other people in a certain amount of time. And considering you're dropping it over 120 miles an hour, believe me, time is of the essence to get those formations in. And I kept doing that until I got injured, a back injury, and my left knee is not doing well. And so I had to give up skydiving, and it took me a while to find the right place and the right time. But then I got into scuba diving, and I love scuba diving. I've had so many cool interactions with sea life. It's like it's the same planet, but it's a whole different world. I've been on shipwrecks. I've watched the turtle mating ritual, from the chase to domination to where they're actually getting together. Sea lions all around me, and they were pushing me around and butting me with their nose. And trust me, it was a painful experience in some ways. But I drove a truck over the road for a while. I worked with Coca-Cola. I've done a lot of things, because I don't think you should waste time. Life, you're only here for a short time. Live it to its fullest. And when I lay on my deathbed, whenever that is, I'm not going to say I wish I had or I wish I went to, because I'm going to make sure I do it all. My wife and I have been to Jamaica. We do mission trips where we help less fortunate countries like Guatemala and Haiti. We're going to travel in a couple of years where we take a camper and just drive all across this great nation of ours to like Mount Rushmore, the Painted Desert, Grand Canyon, Old Faithful. We're going to see everything. I want to share that with her, what I've seen and things that neither one of us have seen. And it's just who I am. I love to help others. This is why I got in the insurance field back in 2009. My parents pulled their hair out trying to figure out what to do with Medicare. My neighbors were doing it, so I started learning it. And my dad always said that I was a salesman. I could sell sand to the desert and get a dog to buy a dozen fleas. So I got into this, and I got to admit, I love my job. I've helped educate people, and I just tell them, I don't care about the commission. God will take care of me. On the finances, I want to do what's right by you. I want you to get the right Medicare plan. And I've got clients that have been on the same plan for 10 years plus. And so I must have done something right. I've been interviewed on Good Day PA channel 27 here in Pennsylvania numerous times. I've had requests to come on talk shows, but I haven't found time for that yet. And some of them are pretty good drive. But my whole idea behind these podcasts is to try and make sure that you, the listener, don't get taken and put on the wrong plan. Some agents are biased against Medicare Advantage. Some are biased against Medigap. And it should be that way. There may be other hidden agendas behind why they sell what they sell. I want to make sure you are on the right plan, that you have all the information you need to make a well-informed decision. And there are benefits out there with Medicare that people don't quite understand. And that's what the podcasts are about. Social Security, it's a nightmare to navigate. Let me help you learn more about it. Helping you save your money if a retirement home comes into play. You don't want to work all these years and see your 401k, 403b, 429 go to waste on a nursing home. I'm going to help you with that. This is who I am. This is what I do. And this is why I love what I do. So I really hope that you'll continue to subscribe to these podcasts. I really want to help everyone get the most out of life, especially when you hit retirement, because that's when life begins. When you explore the U.S., when you travel, not worrying about if you're going to afford to pay the electric bill. Let's work together on these podcasts. Join me on my journey, and I'll see you on the next time. This has been another edition of the Medicare Simplified podcast with Dave Miller. I look forward to talking with you and continuing our journey together again soon. If you've enjoyed this podcast and don't want to miss future episodes of Medicare Simplified with me, Dave Miller, please subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And don't forget to check out my book, Medicare Ready, Set, Go, available on Amazon in paperback and Kindle format. If you're looking for Medicare advice, please reach out to me at dave@mig4u.net or online at mig4u.net.